Arizona students heading back to school today. Schools around the country will be watching Arizona closely, seeing how districts there fare as schools start to develop their own reopening plans throughout the country. So let's bring in Dr. Jason Vargas from the Arizona chapter of the American Academy of Pediatrics for more on this. Dr. Vargas, thanks for being here. I have to start with the elephant in the room. Your group, the American Academy of Pediatrics, is recommending that all school staff and students over the age of 2 wear masks regardless of whether they're vaccinated. But the CDC just issued guidance right before you guys did, saying students and staff who are vaccinated for the most part shouldn't have to wear a mask. So why the disconnect, and how do parents and school officials make sense of this?
First of all, thank you for having me here today. Yeah, I get that it's confusing. We do recommend that all children over 2 years of age wear a mask. I think it sets a valuable community environment where it's consistent messaging saying that masking does work. Now, most school districts, including the ones here in Arizona, cannot ask about vaccination status nor mandate those vaccines. So it's going to be very difficult to sort of decipher which of those kids are wearing masks or not wearing masks that are not vaccinated. So it's a better consistent message to recommend that all children over 2 wear a mask. And let's not forget that masking also prevents other preventable diseases too, like influenza, RSV, and the common cold.
Now, despite the AAP's recommendation for everyone to be masked, Arizona, as you alluded to, is one of 8 states banning mask mandates in schools. So for schools who can't require masks, what do you suggest they do to protect students and staff?
Well, first, let me say a moment about that, a comment on that. School policies are going to need to change and roll with the punches, so to speak, as things change. And this is a very dynamic process. So school districts are going to have to work with public health officials and medical experts using scientific evidence. So current blockages in any state, including Arizona, that limits limits the way that school districts can respond is not in that spirit. Look, we're all on the same team. We want to get kids back to school, and we want to do it safely. It's important to know that even though they're banning mandates for vaccines, it's important that the parents, including that Lewis family that you saw, know that this is not this allows you to wear a mask if you would like to, right? It's my concern that families will see that there's no mandate for a vaccine means that there's no pandemic and they don't have to wear a mask. It should be noted that any family that wants to wear a mask can, and we certainly recommend that, as well as getting vaccinated if they can.
Right. They're banning mask mandates in schools. They're not banning masks in schools. So all families still have the option to wear masks and have their kids wear masks, and the same for staffers. But, you know, I think in the end, we all want to strike the right balance between keeping COVID cases low and also keeping kids in school. Now, Arizona's second largest school district has just decided to make quarantining optional for students who are exposed to COVID-19 but have no symptoms unless community spread or active cases in the school reach a specific threshold. What do you think of that plan?
I think it's not using scientific evidence, and I think with this Delta variant coming, it is now going to be the predominant strain in the U.S. as it is going to be in Arizona. We know that increases transmission. I think it is scary when we're saying that you don't have to wear a mask. We're putting more kids in school. We don't have to vaccinate them. And then now we don't have to quarantine. I think we've done a successful job in preventing rapid transmission among the schools using all those factors and all those prevention tactics that we have, including wearing a mask. So to stop doing that now, right when we're in the middle, about to enter this next chapter, is a very dangerous precedent, and I'm worried.
Now, cases in Arizona are nowhere near their peaks in January, but they are trending upward with more than 1,200 cases per day on average. How confident do you feel about the upcoming school year there, and what are you hearing from parents or teachers there?
Look, I have conversations with my families every day, and they're struggling. They're struggling with whether or not to send their kids to school or not because they're fearful. And I tell them, look, it's worth the risk. We need to get our kids back to school. But I tell them there are certain things that we can do to prevent ourselves. If we're able to get the vaccine, then get the vaccine. If you're a younger child, then we're going to wear masks, and we're going to do all those things that we were doing before. And if we do that, then we can protect ourselves, I think, to a point where we can say that it's safe to go to school. Now, to all those who choose not to get the vaccine, who choose not to get that mask, I am fearful. And I hope that as long as we keep messaging, as long as we cooperate with our state officials, our public health officials, the CDC, and get our information from the AAP, I think the tide is turning and people understand those things that we need to do to keep our community safe. We're all on the same team. We're about to enter this next chapter. With this new Delta variant coming, more kids going to school, possibly no masks, it's very, very important that we don't lose sight of the goal in mind, and that is to end this pandemic and keep our kids safe.
All right, Dr. Jason Vargas from the American Academy of Pediatrics in Arizona, we appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.